Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, hi! My name is Natasha and it's fantastic to have you here. For today's video, we are counting down my top 5 tarot decks that I use on my clients on the regular. These are decks that I use consistently with regular clients, with new clients, and they're all intuitively picked, but they all seem to be intuitively the same decks. These are just the decks that I find myself drawn to for their particular questions and the inclusivity of the decks themselves. I would love to know if your deck made this video, and if it did not, what deck you would add to it. All right, coming in at number 5, we have the Everyday Witch Tarot by Deborah Blake and art by Elizabeth Alba. This, at the time of purchasing, retailed for $29.99, but I'm pretty sure it increased due to, economy. So this is one of my favorite decks of all time, and it is one of my go-tos, especially when the reading needs a more gentle approach, a more gentle topic, that sort of a thing, or if the client really likes witches and that sort of a thing. Very whimsy goth vibe. I love, love, love. You can see it's been used a lot, especially this one here that has taped back. But it's such a great quality. I love, love, love the art. It's beautiful. It's so easy to pick up on the intuitive hits. And with it being so gentle and easy to pick up on those hits, the client themselves can understand why you are reading the way that you are reading. They can understand the imagery a little bit better. So this is one that I highly recommend to beginners. If you are looking for a gentle deck, if you are looking for a deck that speaks to you in a, a little bit more of a fun and whimsical approach, and it's just super, super easy to pick up on when you need it the most. Great if you are doing like rapid fire clients too. This is a wonderful deck, easy to shuffle. The quality of the cardstock is that Llewellyn cardstock. So the cards themselves are slightly smaller than a standard, and the cardstock is on the thinner side, but I find that it helps me shuffle really, really well. And it is a high gloss, so you do have that coating on it. I've had this since its release in, I believe, 2019. So with it being as used and as well loved as it is, it's still holding up really, really well. So I highly recommend this if you love whimsy goth, if you love witches, if you love cats, and if you love a gentler deck. Coming in at number 4, we have the This Might Hurt Tarot deck by Elizabeth Rotman. This is a mass-produced deck by Liminal 11, but I do use and I love the original independently published version. This retails for, at the time of its release, $26.99 in the US, $24.99 in the UK, and $35.99 in Canada. What I love about this deck is that the quality is fantastic, the imagery is stunning, and it is super inclusive. So, just beautifully done. I will say it's lower down on my list just because there is a lot of nudity in this, and so I have to be very particular about what clients I do use this with, just because I know sometimes it can be a little bit of a shock to see naked imagery when you weren't necessarily expecting it. But this is just a beautifully done deck. I love the quality. I love the imagery. You see what I mean? So it's just one of those decks where if I know the client is cool with nudity and, wants to have more of an inclusive experience, this is the one that I go to because it is just so well done. Everybody's represented in here. I just love, love, love this deck so much. So this is all genders, all of that in here. It shuffles beautifully. It's a little bit sturdier of a cardstock too. It is high gloss, so it has that coating and allows your deck to be a little bit more protected with that coating, but it's so well done. So yes, I tend to gravitate toward this with a more inclusive client, and one that maybe doesn't necessarily provides their own gender. So this is a little bit easier for me to make sure that, they feel included and they feel seen. Number 3, we have The Field by Hannah Elizabeth Fofana. This is a beautifully done deck. This retails for, at the time of purchase, I believe $21.95, published by US Game Systems. This deck is inclusive, but it is just beautiful. It's a little bit more ambiguous with the art style, but if you can see, we also have little keywords at the bottom too to help your client kind of see where the energy is going with the reading. I love the art style. It's a little bit different, a little bit more collage / watercolor, and it can be pretty gentle, although it does really tell it like it is. So it's one of those decks where you kind of have to play with it a little bit and get to know it. But if you're looking for more of an aesthetically pleasing type art style in your readings, this is a go-to deck for that. And like I said, it is inclusive. It has both the masculine and feminine energies in here as well. I know some people like to have a good balance of that when they are reading for them, not only themselves, but their clients. So this is one for that. But as you can see, just a beautiful deck, and the quality is great too. The cardstock is that wonderful US Game Systems cardstock where it's like right in that sweet spot, at least for me, where it's not super thin, but it's also very flexible, but snaps back and it shuffles like a dream. So I love this. I love the feel of it in my hand too. All of these decks that you will be seeing have a wonderful hand feel that I feel is important, especially if you are doing multiple clients in a day. For me, I need a deck that I can go to that is very easy to manipulate. I can't do very thick cardstocks if I'm doing a lot of readings in one day. So this fits the bill perfectly. It's a beautiful deck. Number 2, we have the Unfolding Path Tarot by Athene Noctua. This is just stunning. This retails for $24.99 in the US and $33.99 in Canada. And if you want to talk about beautiful artwork plus inclusivity plus just stunning intuitive hits, this is a deck. And again, the cardstock and the card size is perfect for me personally. The cardstock is on the thinner side. It's not coated with anything either, so it's a matte, so it will be a lot more flexible than the other ones in this video, excluding the Everyday Witch. But it is wonderful to shuffle. I mean, just look at this. It's just stunning. The intuitive hits are all there. And again, I like utilizing this for clients because everybody I feel is represented in here, and so that they can see themselves in it. They can understand the energy going on in the cards when you are going through the reading with them. And it's just beautiful to look at. This is another aesthetically pleasing deck that you just feel so connected to and feel drawn to. It's just beautiful. I really do love utilizing this. I feel like this is a little bit more of, well, yes, it's a gentle deck. I feel like this is a lot of it's a lot for deeper readings. Like, I feel like I get more out of it when the questions that are being asked need a deeper explanation. This deck is a go-to for that. It definitely will work for any kind of question, but I feel like those that need a little bit more explanation and it's not like a surface level reading, this is fantastic for it. And when we shuffle, it's a great shuffle. Easy to manipulate. So this is one of my favorite decks of all time, just in general, because of how beautifully it was illustrated and the representation is just phenomenal. So again, right there with that, this might hurt. However, this one doesn't have, I don't believe it has any nudity in it. So it's a little bit easier for the general public to get behind using this versus the This Might Hurt Tarot. That's the only difference for me there. And of course, I had to throw in an honorable mention. This is the Ethereal Visions Terra Luna edition. This is by Matt Hughes. This retails for, I believe, $22.95. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But this is just a stunning deck. I love, love, love this deck so much. I feel, though, for me, it's more of a personal deck, which is why it is in an honorable mention. I do utilize it for clients, but for me, it's a little bit more of a personal deck, and I don't know how to explain it other than that. I will whip it out if I feel called to it, which is why it is an honorable mention. But I think it has to do with the fact that it is just such a beautiful art style that it might be harder for clients to kind of understand the energy. That's maybe why I'm pulled toward the other decks. And it doesn't photograph or video too well because of all of the foiling, which I absolutely love when I'm utilizing it for myself. But that's essentially why it's an honorable mention. I do use it. I love the representation in this deck, but I feel like the other ones work better for me with my clients. But it's just so beautiful. Look at that. Oh, and they do have the just the regular ethereal visions available too, and that is absolutely another beautifully done deck. It's a wonderful one to use personally too. Again, it just depends on how you feel and what you feel drawn to. Shuffles phenomenally. It's the US Game Systems cardstock, which I love using. It's just so well done, but like I said, I don't feel called to it toward clients as much as I do the other ones. Okay, my number one, the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. This deck, I just am so connected to it. I utilize it so much. I know probably a lot of my clients get sick of seeing it. I try to switch it up, but I always go to a deck that I am intuitively drawn to for that client for that specific time. So a lot of the times it's this one. This one at the time of receiving it, I paid $24.99 and $33.99 in Canada. But this is just so well done. It's so easy to read with. The intuitive hits are all right there. There's representation. It's just, the vibes are immaculate with this. It's so beautiful. I can't tell you how much I love this deck. It's just stunning. I love the colors. I love the art style. I love the characters that I see in here. So it's right there with the Unfolding Path and the This Might Hurt Tarot, where it's just, you know, regardless of who you are working with, you're going to find them in the deck. You know what I mean? Like they're going to see themselves or see their family, their friends, you know, their significant others, crushes in here. It's beautiful. This particular deck I got when it was first released, and they had a little bit of manufacturing problems, at least with this one, because there are uneven sizes in here and some of the cards were a little off kilter. I don't mind that at all. I have still been utilizing it like nobody's business here. You can see all of my thumb indentations too. So it shuffles really well. I can't tell you about the current cardstock, but this one is a little bit thinner, but very flexible and snaps back. So I just love it. The vibes are very much like, you know, wanderer type vibes. It's just so beautiful. So for me personally, this is one of the top tier decks for me. All of these are top tier, to be honest, but this one is the one that I go to quite often the most because I feel drawn to it particularly. All of these I feel drawn to, but these are all my top 5 decks that I use on clients, family, friends, strangers, you name it. I have utilized them in every way possible for them. I love the messages I get through them, and I absolutely love the way that they feel when I am handling them and shuffling them. They all have different types of cardstock, as you saw, but they all were very easy to manipulate. None of these have very thick cardstock. None of these are very stiff. So especially if I'm doing a lot of readings in one day or if I'm doing an event, these are the types of decks that I like to utilize because of their flexibility and they don't wear and tear my hands too harshly. So I would love to know if any of these decks are decks of yours that you use quite often or frequently. Do you utilize them more on a personal aspect, or are they for your clients, or all of the above? What are the decks that didn't make my list that you utilize a lot? I love to know all of these. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Another top video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know all of your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for being here. I love you and I like you. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on your way out of this video. That way you will never miss an upload from me. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.